I don't really want anyone to see me dead. I don't want to see me dead, obviously. I can't see me dead. I just had two aunts on my wife's side of the family. Two aunts passed. And she passed, and she had a traditional, quote-unquote traditional funeral where you are buried in a coffin casket. The first one was Aunt Carolyn, the other one was Aunt Catherine, and she was cremated. And that was my very first funeral that I'd ever been to where someone was cremated. And I'd always said I wanted to be cremated. I'd never really seen it in practice. Aside from all the sad times and all the tears, there were just some reasonable differences that I noticed with the two funerals or services. On the one hand, my Aunt Catherine, the Catholic aunt on my wife's side of the family, there was a picture of her. We just got to look at her smiling face the entire time, and just a big photo of her. There were photos all over the chapel, the place that we were. There were photos everywhere, and it just, everything that you saw and everything that you touched sort of warms your heart. She's in her 80s when she passed, and just seeing her face everywhere, I just remembered all of the good times that I'd spent with her. The chicken cutlets that she cooked for me, that when she told my kids, you know, she looked at them and she wagged her finger and she's like, "Don't you eat your father's chicken cutlets." It was incredible. I mean, she loved me better than my blood family. I was only able to be totally immersed in all the good memories that she gave me. I mean, there was literally nothing negative about that service, nothing. That was the service with my Aunt Catherine. She was cremated. We came back the next day and she was entombed, where they opened up a wall and they put her urn inside of there and all that. And that was awesome. You know, you could scatter ashes like you normally see in the movies, but I just enjoyed that. I didn't get to see her when she was not alive. Contrast that with my Aunt Carolyn's funeral on my mother's side. They both passed within days of each other, and so the funerals were 1 week apart. It was a traditional funeral, a funeral that I've been to, that I'm sure a lot of you have been to over and over and over again. There's a very long, drawn-out service. There's an open casket with the deceased in the casket. There was a lot of there were tears at both services, but the tears at the funeral where there was not a body there to be seen, the tears at that funeral were those of joy and sadness, just like the other ones. But the other one was maybe more the cremation funeral where there was no body present. There was tears of joy and sadness based on what people said and the fact that they were missing the person. But I noticed at the other funeral, the open casket, as people sort of got closer and closer to the casket and they viewed the body that really didn't look like the person that they knew and that they loved, in this case, my Aunt Carolyn. It was, I watched people burst into tears. I watched people get really upset. I watched what the sight of it did to the people, of the body did to the people, and that's when I knew for sure I definitely wanted to be cremated. And I really want to know what you guys think. Do you guys want to be cremated, or do you want a traditional burial? I guess I don't really want anyone to see me dead. I don't want to see me dead, obviously. I can't see me dead. Everyone looking at the body, I don't think that was helpful. I don't think that was healthy, and I don't think that was good, because it's very unnatural to display it in that way. Back in the day, they had Viking funerals, and the Viking funerals, they'd set you on fire, put you in a raft, and push you out to sea, but that was like the day of. So you actually looked just like the person. There was no embalming or anything like that, because I think that's really the thing that's so unnatural about the traditional, quote-unquote traditional casket burials. You know, the body may sit around for a week or two, it gets embalmed, it gets made up. I was even looking at the Aretha Franklin funeral. Aretha Franklin, I think her funeral lasted over several days, and Aretha Franklin was, I think she had like a change of clothes. So someone had to, people had to undress her and put on a nicer dress or something, or a different dress for a different day. And I get that she's the queen of soul, but that is a really tough thing. It's definitely a spectacle. I think that reasonably funerals should probably be remembrance services where people are just remembering the good, maybe the not so good, but they're joking about that, hopefully. But the notion of looking at the dead body, every funeral that I've been to, open casket, I look at the person and I'm like, it's not really what they look like. And, sometimes I wonder, is that really what they would have liked, to be looked at that way? I know it's just, sometimes we do things because we do them. That's the only reason we do them. But is that really good enough? Should we question why we do certain things? And yeah, I'm questioning why I do things, and I want to be cremated. My whole family knows it, and I guess I'll figure out if I want to be scattered somewhere. Like it matters. I'm dead. What do I care? But it's a cool thing if they want to do something like that, and they may want to, sort of get out there and like, hey, he really liked Myrtle Beach, so we'll take him there. What do you think? Cremation, traditional burial. What do you want? And what do you think about cremation versus traditional burial? How does it make you feel when you see that dead body up there? Would you feel like you were missing something if the dead body wasn't there? How do you feel? Let me know in the comments below. Peace.